Hello, everyone. Today is currently Wednesday, the 27th. I did have music playing in the background, but I guess it didn't make it. So, my bad. I was letting it play. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys had an amazing Wednesday. I have been so busy, I have not been able to get on live. We do need to finish up the Casey Anthony, but I thought today why don't we start the Emmanuel Haro case? It's been a lot going on. I did start it the other day, then I got copyrighted, so I had to delete it because I hit like 7 copyright strikes. So yeah. But tonight we're going to talk about Emmanuel Haro and everything that happened to this sweet little innocent baby boy. As you know, the parents have been arrested. They are charged with malice murder, and lots of details, lots of things have been coming out regarding both parents, both Rebecca and Jake Haro. Um, at first, when I heard of the Emmanuel Haro case, when we first saw the interview that they did pleading for their son, there was many red flags, many inconsistencies, but I was like, you know what? Let me give them the benefit of the doubt. Let me see how this plays out. But after hearing Jake's past and Rebecca's past, it made me change my mind, and I'm like, no, they. And then I went back and looked and studied their body language, and I was like, no, they've been dumb fooling us since the beginning. Um, so if you're new to the Emmanuel Haro case, I'm going to read you a summary from it. My disclaimer is at the bottom. Thank goodness I don't have to say it no more. Now I can just put it at the bottom. But if you aren't familiar with Emmanuel Haro, Crime Timeline has gave me the biggest outline involving the case. If you or someone you know is wanting to get into the true crime, you are starting your true crime channel, you have a channel and want to talk about true crime but don't know where to start, Crime Timelines is the best place and best resource where you can go and find cases. If you want like to talk about the Emmanuel Haro case, it has everything you need for the Emmanuel Haro case. If you like to talk about Casey Anthony, it has everything for Casey Anthony. If you like to talk about Travis Decker, he is on there as well. Savannah Soto, many other different cases are on there. Not only cases, they also have missing children. So if there's missing children and they talk about it on the news, some of them are on there. Not all the cases are on there, just some cases are on there. The Idaho 4 is on there, I know. But Crime Timeline is the best source that I use when I cover some true crime cases. So Emmanuel Haro was born on December 21st of 2024 to Rebecca and Jake Haro. On Thursday, August 14th of 2025 at 7:47 p.m., deputies in Yucapa were dispatched to a retail business after Rebecca Haro were reported that while she stood outside her vehicle changing her child's diaper, she was physically assaulted by an unknown male and rendered unconsciousness. When she awoke, her 7-month-old infant, Emmanuel Haro, was gone. Deputies and canine units from San Bernardino and Riverside counties responded and began an extensive search. Emmanuel was not located. If we know the case, we all know that Rebecca's story was a complete pile of bull crap. She lied. None of that ever happened. From my reports, when I looked it up, there's no police report of her making this. There was never any victims who saw this. I don't even think she went to the Big Five, in my opinion. I don't know. So, right off the bat, I can get that Rebecca reminds me so much of Jennifer Soto. I don't know why, but she just gives me Jennifer Soto vibes. Not only that, but this case alone, like hearing all the details and everything going on, especially what we learned about today, it's giving Casey Anthony as well. And I'll explain later how it's giving Casey Anthony. people on TikTok are saying that her and Susan Smith could be twins. I mean, they did the same thing. So the timeline, because Crime Timeline gave us a whole timeline, I can show you. Let me switch. Yay. There we go. Okay. So on August 14 of 2025 at approximately 5:30 p.m., the family meets Jake's ex and her boyfriend at the park. Of course, it's going to give you all the sources, so you can always click on it and it gives you like what source they got it from. At 6 o'clock, they had a football game or practice. 7 p.m., according to Rebecca and her mother, Rebecca leaves the park to buy a mouth guard at a nearby store. The source, it was reported by Grandma, and of course, there's the source links. At 7:30 p.m., Rebecca arrives at the store. She said she smelled a dirty diaper, started changing it, then recounts different versions of what happened. So, from what she said, Rebecca, was someone said "Hola." She either did turn, or only saw white. Claims she was struck on the head, blacked out, woke up with a black eye, and Emmanuel was gone. She ran into the Big Five Sporting Goods, asking if anyone saw her baby or someone with a baby, returned to her vehicle to retrieve her phone and call 911. As we all know, it was a bunch of bullcrap. I don't even think she ran into the Big Five. I don't think there was any witnesses. Quite frankly, I don't even think this really happened. I think she probably just showed up to the Big Five and just called the cops from there. When I saw the interview, I was like, maybe she's just so hysterical. Before I even knew of Jake's past and her past, I was probably like, they're maybe hysterical, maybe let's see how this plays out. But after hearing her past and Jake past, I was like, no, they're pieces of shits. They're both pieces of shit parents. I don't like them. They did something to baby Emmanuel off the bat. It's just the body language for me. Like the more I looked at the video and the more I studied it and everything coming out, you can just tell they were just, now looking back at it, you can tell they were just putting on a show for everybody. And according to TikTok, there's some people who support Rebecca and Jake. Go figure. I don't know. At 7:41 p.m., police are called. At 7:47, deputies in Yucapa were dispatched to a retail business after Rebecca Haro reported that while she stood outside her vehicle changing her child's diaper, she was physically assaulted by an unknown male and re-rendered consciousness. When she awoke, her 7-month-old infant Emmanuel was gone. Deputies and canine units from San Bernardino and Riverside counties responded and began an extensive search. Emmanuel was not located. At 8 o'clock, Jake arrives at the Big Five with ex-girlfriend, her boyfriend, and children, reported in the follow-up coverage, not detailed in the sheriff's release. Okay, so the mother is Rebecca R. Chavez, a.k.a. Rebecca Haro. The father is Jake M. Haro. The reported location was 34579 Yucapa Boulevard, Yucapa, California. So, I mean, what ex? Like the ex-girlfriend of Jake? Because I know they went to so they say they went to I think his son's or somebody's kids practice. So of August 15 of 2025 at 1:30 a.m. police update. This is an active investigation. We are seeking the public's help in locating the child. He was last seen wearing a black Nike onesie. He weighs about 21 pounds and approximately 24 inches tall, has brown hair, brown eyes, and is cross-eyed. If you have any information, please call 911 or the sheriff's dispatch. Rebecca Haro said that they have been at Yucapa at a football stadium with their children who play youth football. She said she had to go to the Big Five store to buy a mouth guard for her stepson. When she arrived at the parking lot, she said she realized the baby's diaper needed to change. So she laid him out on the back of her truck when she was attacked from behind. So this is from, I'm assuming, Rebecca saying this, but I got him out of the car seat and I laid him down so I could get his diaper ready. All I remember, I saw white. I fell on the floor, and as soon as I got up, I couldn't find my son. I checked all around my truck and I ran into the Big Five, and I asked the lady if she saw a baby or someone with a baby. She said no, he's a happy boy. Rebecca said he was a healthy baby. He was crawling, he was kicking, and he was playing with his toys. And this is from Jake. Whoever took our son, please give him back. Emmanuel weighs about 21 pounds and is approximately 24 inches tall, has brown hair, brown eyes, and is cross-sighted. Authorities said he was last seen wearing a black Nike onesie. At 12:56 p.m., the update. Investigators from the Specialized Investigation Division are continuing to investigate the reported kidnapping of the 7-month-old after the child's mother reported being attacked outside the retail store on Yucaba Boulevard last night. Canine scented tracking dogs were deployed, but the children was not located. No suspect information is available at the time. At 10:12 p.m., investigators continue their search for the 7-month-old who was reportedly kidnapped last week in Yucapa. The child has not been found, and our investigation will continue. So this is the 15th. Now we're going on to the 16th. I'm starting from the beginning because I do have some folks who probably have never heard of baby Emmanuel. I will get to the new stuff soon, but tonight I do want to. This live is going to be dedicated into digging deep of this case. And seeing lots of stuff that I got. And some people have been saying that the grandma and the aunt, so it would be Jake's mom and Jake's sister, they think they're involved in some ways. And it was weird to me because people were saying that Jake's sister, which is the aunt, had posted a video basically repeating what Rebecca had said all over the news, and then she deleted it, but nobody knows why she deleted it. Some people think that she probably slipped up and said something. I couldn't find the video, but if you guys follow the Pascal show, shout out to Pascal. He posted the video and he gave his thoughts, so I might play that, but all credits on that goes to Pascal. And you know me, I want to dig deep into the family. Like, our next stream of Casey Anthony, we're digging deep into George and Cindy. I'm still looking for tons of information. I got some information on them. But if that's the case, if people think allegedly that the mother of Jake and the sister are involved, you know me, I'm going to dig deep into them and I'm going to see, I almost left the studio. And I'm going to see what's going on. I want to know everybody's history. I want to know everybody's past. Okay. August 16th of 2025 at 2:40 p.m. The update. Based on the circumstances, Sheriff Specialized Investigators Division responded and assisted with the investigation. Investigators interviewed multiple individuals, including Emmanuel's parents, Jake and Rebecca. During those interviews, Rebecca was confronted with inconsistencies in her initial statement and declined to continue with the interview. At this point in the investigation, investigators are unable to rule out foul play in the disappearance of Emmanuel. At 12:22 p.m., Emmanuel's grandmother, Mary Buchon, which would be her mom, tells KTLA that the couple loves their son and wouldn't do anything to hurt him. She also says police asked Rebecca to take a lie detector test, but Jake refused until they had a lawyer. Rebecca receives a death threat, and her 2-year-old was removed from the home. Hearing that part, the couple loves their son and wouldn't do anything to hurt them. Hearing that now makes me like laugh because I'm like, yeah, okay, they love their son. They wouldn't do anything to hurt him. But remember, we're starting from the beginning because a lot of people don't know this case. And the people that don't know this case are going to get why that part is a bunch of bullshit. So the inconsistencies. Number one, Rebecca of Cabazon initially told San Bernardino County Sheriff's investigators that she was changing the baby's diaper by her vehicle Thursday night on the 14th outside the Big Five store in Yucapa when she was assaulted and knocked out by an unknown male. When she woke up, the child was gone. Number two, she said she had to go to the Big Five to buy a mouth guard for her stepson. When she arrived in the parking lot, she said she realized the baby's diaper needed to be changed, so she laid him down on the back of the truck when she was attacked from behind. Number three, I noticed the smell from the baby, so I wanted to change him before going into the store. She said, I took him out of the car seat, laid him on the chair, add his diaper here, and someone said, Hola. I couldn't turn, and I don't remember nothing. I got up from the floor and didn't see my child. Someone took him from me. Number 4, I got him out of the car seat, laid him down so I get his diaper ready. All I remember, I saw white. I fell on the floor, and as soon as I got up, I couldn't find my son. I checked all around the truck and ran into the Big Five. I asked the lady if she saw the baby or someone had a baby. She said no. He was a happy boy, Rebecca said. He was a healthy baby. He was crawling, kicking, playing with toys. Whoever took our son, please give him back. Okay, now I can see why they repeat themselves. Okay, so the inconsistencies, number 3 and 4. Number 3, she basically doesn't give that much detail. All she said, someone said hola. She couldn't turn and she knocked out. Number 4, she's saying that I'm assuming she turned. She saw white and fell to the floor. Number 1 and 2. Okay, so do we know if anybody really saw Rebecca at this football practice with Emmanuel? I mean, because if there is, you can literally just ask like the coaches, hey, did this person's kid show up to practice? Who showed up to practice with him? Was their family? You can literally go and ask the Big Five people and ask for surveillance footage. Hey, let me see the footage. I want to see if this woman, aka Rebecca, really did go into the store. Did this woman really ask you if you saw a baby? Those can all be vetted, and I'm pretty sure she never went inside the Big Five. I'm pretty sure she showed up to the Big Five and called 911. August 17th, investigators remain focused on inconsistencies in Rebecca's story and allegations about Jake's past. Though no official suspects are named, 7:30 Candlelight Vigilant was held on Sunday night for the 7-month-old. At 9 o'clock, we appreciate the community's patience as the investigation continues. Investigators are still searching for 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro. August 18th at 12:22, deputies from the Cabazon Sheriff's Station were dispatched to the 50,000 block of Ramona Street in Cabazon per the request of Child Protective Services. CPS asked deputies to check if the family was at the residence, but deputies were not able to contact anyone. 6 o'clock, the investigation into the disappearance of 7-month-old Emmanuel is continuing. Basically saying that they're looking for him. On the 19th, Vincent Hughes, a former lawyer and spokesperson that said Jake and his wife had their 2-year-old child taken from them after their son was kidnapped last week. He does not represent Rebecca. Law enforcement played the video for the parents. The video was CCTV from the jewelry store across the lot from Big Five. The lawyer said that the video shows something falling down, then getting up. He says that corroborates Rebecca's story. Could we see this video? And where did it come from? Yeah, I want to find it. Okay, so the article here doesn't really have it. Dang, it just talks about what I just said. Okay. I'm gonna find it. If I can find it, I'm gonna find it. Request for domestic violence restraining order. DV filed by ex-wife. Huh? Wait, what? So someone got a restraining order. Ex-wife. August 20th update. We know the community is deeply concerned about this case, and we will continue to provide info to the extent it does not jeopardize the investigation. Our investigators have followed up on the reported sightings of 7-month-old Emmanuel, but he has not been located. While Emmanuel's father has retained an attorney, if the parents choose to work with detectives, we welcome their cooperation as we continue efforts to locate Emmanuel. We are also aware of the fire reported at the neighbor's property near the Haro home in Cabazon and have been in contact with investigators of the incident. At this time, we have no information. Okay, so I did hear that. So on TikTok, people were saying that allegedly these 2 homeless people went and started a fire at a neighbor's property near Jake and Rebecca's house. Allegedly, speculations only. Some people think that, I don't know if it's true or not, it's all like speculations, but people think that they were hired, these 2 homeless people, to go and burn that house so that way it could burn Rebecca and Jake's house. It is unknown why they started the fire. I don't even think they found the suspects or charged them yet. But it's all over TikTok. If I can find the video, I will put it in my Discord. Jake and Rebecca were in juvenile court in Riverside County. August 21st, Riverside County Sheriff's deputies responded to a call about a child abuse at CPS office located at Cottonwood Avenue, Moreno Valley, California, where Rebecca and Jake were being interviewed. In the evening, deputies say they were called to the Haro's family Capazon home Wednesday night after reports of a man walking the property, knocking on doors, recording video. By the time the deputies arrived, the man was gone. They searched the area but didn't find him. Okay. On August 22nd, 2025, San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department confirmed an active operation was underway at the home of missing baby Emmanuel Haro Friday morning. The house is located on Ramona Street in Cabazon, just south of Interstate 10. 7:28 a.m., Rebecca and Jake Haro were arrested. Detectives from the Sheriff's Homicide Detail and Specialized Enforcement Division arrested Jake and Rebecca at their residence for murder with malice. Now, I do have the murder with malice counts on my Discord. We're going to talk about it all tonight and the differences regarding that in California, because this is located in California. So let's finish the timeline and then I'll dig deeper. At 12:32, Rebecca Haro booked to Robert Presley detention. At 5:33, Jake Haro was booked to Robert Presley detention. August 24th, 6 o'clock, road closure. The sheriff's office blocked off an exit off East Gimlin Street, Springs Road. Around this time, video surfaced showing Jake Haro is present at the location, but there's no official update so far. I have that video and I'll show you. 7:32 update. A search for Emmanuel Haro was conducted along the westbound shoulder of the 60 freeway near Gilman Springs Road in Moreno Valley. Investigators were assisted by cadaver dogs. Jake Haro was at the location with detectives. The search is wrapping up and Emmanuel was not located. Some people think that he was probably toying with people. He was probably why is my phone not off? Some people think that probably because they said Emmanuel was not located. According to eyewitness reports, when I saw it, they think that Jake was just playing around with him. He just wanted to come out of his cell. I have all that video. So the Moreno Valley search location was westbound shoulder of the 60 freeway near Gilman Springs Road, Moreno Valley. The method was detectives assisted by cadaver dogs detailed Jake Haro present with investigators during the search. The outcome, search concluded, Emmanuel was not located. From their home in Cabazon to the Gilman Springs Road and the 60 freeway was about 18.5 miles. Hang on. I don't know what that was. August 26, 2025 at 8 a.m. First appearance and hearing at the Riverside Hall of Justice. Originally scheduled hearing. 12 p.m. The deadline for the district attorney to file official charges, 48-hour rule without weekend and holiday expectation. California Penal Code requires that an arrested person be brought before the judge within 48 hours. At 1:30, Jake and Rebecca were charged with murder, domestic violence, and making a serious false complaint in the death of baby Emmanuel. Date range of alleged murder. According to the felony complaint, the murder of baby Doe allegedly occurred on or about August 5th of 2025 through and including August 14th, 2025. So that will be like 9-10 days roughly. This range suggests the child may have died several days before the reported abduction on August 14th, raising a major concerns of cover-up. The false kidnapping report filed. Jake Haro and Rebecca Haro are accused of willfully and unlawfully reporting a false felony and misdemeanor to the California Highway Patrol, Riverside County deputies, and other authorities. This false report launched a search and rescue operation for the child, who was already believed to be deceased at the time. The false report continues court 2 the complaint under penalty code. This misdemeanor punishable up to 6 months in jail. Felony complaint filed in Superior Court of California, County of Riverside, case number charged with count 1, murder of baby Doe, count 2, filing a false police report. Bail sat at $1 million cash for each defendant. They should actually give them no bail. I don't get why they have to give them the $1 million. Makes no sense. Bail. I don't know why my thing is not okay. 1109 notice filed. The prosecution plans to introduce prior domestic violence history during trial. Martial law warning issue protecting the victim's family from harassment or release of confidential discovery. Discovery request initiated under penal code by the prosecution. September 4th. The arraignment for Jake and Rebecca have been postponed to September 4th, but on September 9th of 2025, hearing scheduled request for a permanent restraining order due to domestic violence with child or children by the ex-wife, IRG, against Jake Haro. Wow. So they go to court on the 4th, that for sure. I know they moved the court date to the 4th, but now they're saying on the 9th that he has to go back because the ex-wife is putting a permanent restraining order due to domestic violence. Okay. So if you don't know, this is Jake. You can tell off the bat he has anger issues. And this is his charges. He has murder with malice. He has false report of a crime, murder with malice, willful harm, child felony, felon possession, firearm, prohibit to own, etc., ammo, depth, child jurisdiction, and then this is it. This is from yesterday. So the people of the state of California versus Jake Mitchell Haro. He was arrested, murder, no degree, first degree murder, false report, crime to police. Wow, okay. And then, he has more. So this is yesterday, it came out yesterday. So all of yesterday's date, it says felony in custody, arraignment at 1:30 in Department 61. Court order regarding media requests to photograph records or broadcasts. Oops. Hehe. I'm clicking something. Order to media request and permit coverage submitted by Cusick TV. Sorry, I have to put my phone. Media request to photograph, record, or broadcast submitted. Court order regarding media request to photograph, record, or broadcast. Order to media request to permit coverage submitted by New York Post. So I think this is just from like the different news stations. They're asking if they could record and take pictures. Yesterday they did the file. Okay. So this is Rebecca. This is the mother. She ain't no mother, in my opinion. You can just tell the black eye is all faded. You didn't get that recently. You had that already. She was charged with murder with malice, false report of a crime, first murder in the first degree, and depth child jurisdiction. So this was processed yesterday. Same thing as well. Murder no degree, first murder, false report to police crime. And then, of course, it's just the media asking if they could record and take pictures. So this is the both of them. So this is State of California versus Jake Mitchell Haro and Rebecca Renee Haro. The undersigned, under penalty of perjury upon information and belief, declares that the above named defendants, Jake Mitchell Haro and Rebecca Renee Haro, committed a violation of Penal Code Section 187, Division A, a felony in that on or about August 5th, 2025, through and including August 14, 2025, in the County of Riverside, State of California, and the defendants did willfully and unlawfully murder baby Doe, a human being. So that's count 1. Count 2, that the above named defendant, Jake Mitchell Haro, and Rebecca Renee Haro, committed a violation of Penalty Code Section 148.5 Division and a misdemeanor in that or on about August 14th. Hang on. August 14, 2025, in the County of Riverside, State of California, the defendants did willfully and unlawfully report to the police officer, deputy sheriffs, and a member of the California Highway Patrol that the felony and misdemeanor have been committed, knowing to report to be false. I have to put on my Discord on live. I forgot. I don't have my mod. Well, I think she's here, but she's not really here. Oh, wrong one. Okay. 1109 notice. Pursuant to Section 109 of the Evidence Code, evidence of the defendant commission of other acts of domestic violence may be admissible in trial to a criminal action in which the defendant is or accused of an offensive involving domestic violence. The people hereby give notice of the people's intent to admit evidence of prior acts of domestic violence. Pursuant to Evidence Code Section 1109, these incidents include the prior incidents described to police officer report, chronological report, and or tapes if ready provided. The other alleged incident of abuse, which will be provided as well, they are obtained by prosecution. So 1109, I'm assuming it says here the other alleged abuse, incidents of abuse. I think they're going to bring in, if they go to trial, they're probably going to bring in Baby Promise, what he did to his first daughter. We're going to talk about that tonight as well. And they're talking about an offense involving domestic violence. So if Jake had prior domestic violence with his other two wives, they're going to make that admissible in court as well. Or if Rebecca had a past of domestic violence, they're going to bring that in court as well. Then they have Marshy's Law, if I'm saying that right. Marcel? If I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. Information contained in reports being distributed as discovery in the case may contain confidential information protected by Marshy's Law and the amendments to the California Constitution, Article 1, Section 28. Any victims in any above referenced charges is entitled to be free from intimidation, harassment, and abuse. It may be unlawful for defense counsel, or any other persons acting on behalf of the defendant or defendants to use any information contained in the reports to locate or harass any victim or victims or the victim's family, or to disclose any information that is otherwise privileged and confidential by law. Discovery requests pursuant to Penalty Code 1054.5, the subdivision B, the people are hereby informally requesting the defense counsel provide discovery of the people as required by Penalty Code Section 1054.3. Okay. So this is the official timeline. This is from, I'm believing, from investigators. So the official report, the date was August 14, 2025 at 7:47 p.m. The incident was a crucial missing child. It was the 34,500 block of Yucaba Boulevard, Yucaba, California. The victims was Emmanuel Haro. He's a 7-month-old infant of Capostone, California. On the 14th at 7:41, 911 was called. 7:47, deputies responded. August 15th was the ongoing search. The fact there was no Amber Alert because of the lack of suspect and vehicle description, I think it's very crucial. You should still put the Amber Alert out, no matter what. August 16th, the inconsistencies emerged in Rebecca's story. August 17th, they did a home search. They had a warrant to search their house. August 18th, surveillance was reviewed. Investigators revealed they have collected and are reviewing a substantial amount of surveillance footage in the areas of the interest, despite earlier statements from Rebecca that there was no cameras. August 19th, their vehicle was seized. Vehicle seized Authorities seized a vehicle belonging to Emmanuel's father, Jake, as a part of the investigation. Isabel Gonzalez has filed a domestic violence restraining order against her ex-husband, Jake Mitchell Haro. She seeks protection for the couple's son. Hearing on the matter is scheduled for September 9th. Oh, so alleged. So now Jake's ex-wife, Isabella, she's coming out and she's like, yo, I want a protection order against him. I want protection for my son as well. So that's coming up on the 9th. On the 20th, there's a possible sighting. A potential sighting of Emmanuel is reported to Kern County, Bakersfield area. Deputies confirm they are following up, but provide no updates. August 21st, public appeal continues. Investigators reaffirm the search and remains active. No foul play has been ruled. On the 22nd, San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department confirmed an active operation was underway at the home of missing baby Emmanuel Haro Friday night. The house is located on Ramona Street in Cabazon, just south of Interstate 10. At 7:28, Rebecca and Jake are arrested. This morning, detectives from the Sheriff's Homicide Detail and Specialized Enforcement Division arrested Jake and Rebecca at their residence for murder. This investigation began on August 14, 2025, as a reported kidnapping at the Big Five in Yucapa. The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department immediately dedicated all available resources to locate 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro. During the investigation thus far, numerous interviews have been conducted. Search warrants have been served, digital and electronic evidence has been collected and closely analyzed. Based on the evidence, investigators determined a kidnapping in Yucapa did not occur. It is believed Emmanuel is deceased and the search to recover his remains is ongoing. At 12:32, Rebecca is booked. 6:30, based on the evidence, investigators determined the kidnapping in Yucapa did not occur. It is believed Emmanuel is deceased and the search for his remains is ongoing. On the 24th, that's when they took Jake out, and Jake said apparently, allegedly, he knew where they dumped Emmanuel, but when they went out there, there was no Emmanuel. Like I said, people think he was toying with law enforcement. He was probably like, yeah, I think he buried him over here. Don't believe Jake Haro. Don't even believe Rebecca. They're just liars. On the 26th, they made their first court appearance. On the 27th, which is today, they gave us an update. They had a press conference. I have all that. The DA states investigators have a strong indication of where Emmanuel remains are, but the search is ongoing. Cause of death as allegations. The DA states Emmanuel was a victim of long-term child abuse that ultimately led to fatal injuries. Prior abuse case in 2018. DA recalls Jake's prior child abuse case involving his daughter, Carolina, or Promise. Severe injuries listed fractured ribs, skull fracture, brain hemorrhage, and tubular fracture. I have all that. Carolina survived but remained permanently disabled with cerebral palsy. I think 3% or 4% of her brain is actually functionable. But I hate to say it, she is kind of like almost a vegetable, that poor baby. She endured a lot. She was only 10 weeks old. Judicial failure. My bad. Prosecutors sought prison for Jake in 2018, but the judge gave probation and worker release. DA calls this is an outrageous error in judgment. States if Jake Haro had been in prison, Emmanuel would be alive today. Period. Yes. He only served 6 months of his whatever he got. I actually have to look at it, how much they gave him. Only did 6 months. And then he went out and walked free like nothing happened. I think he was just on probation. But why do you do that? Why do you let him out? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Just why? You know? Hold on. Okay, I don't know what that was. Just why? Like, why the judge, excuse my language, the judge fucked up. Okay? You let a man who basically put his child in a vegetable state for the rest of her life, you let him walk free after what he did. You put him on work release and gave him probation. Why? Now, why did you do that? That's kind of stupid. That is so stupid. Like, so stupid, 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 stupid. Parental responsibilities. DA asserts both Jake and Rebecca knew of and allowed the abuse. Both are charged with murder and filing a false police report. Evidence. DA confirms the reliance on digital forensics, including phones, vehicles, and electronic data, refuses to elaborate further due to pending trial. Other investigation records. So they had a call log. Can I expand it? Oh. I actually have this too. Okay. So this I'll do in a minute. I actually have the full thing. But these were calls made to Rebecca and Jake's house. So Rebecca Renee Chavez, she was born February 1984. Jake Mitchell was born February 9th of 1993. He's 32. He has a criminal history, a felony conviction of willful child cruelty from 2018, incident Helmet, sentenced in 2023 to 180 days in jail with 4 years of probation. He's also facing court hearings for alleged probation violations. I just don't get. So he abused the kid in 2018, and then he was sentenced in 2023. Are you freaking kidding me? Just for him to only serve like 6 months, and then he's walking free. He's on fucking probation. Like, are you freaking kidding me? God, our freaking system sucks. So this is Jake's Haro timeline. And you know we're going to talk about Jake Haro. Okay. So Jake Haro, this is involving the child abuse. So the main timeline. Oh, I clicked on everything and it's okay. There it goes. Okay. So 2018, a child abuse case. October 12th of 2018 afternoon, infant CH brought to Helmet Valley Hospital. Multiple fractures in different healing stages observed. Injuries deemed inconsistent with accidental causes. October 12th, in the evening, hospital staff notified law enforcement. Mandated reporting trigger. Child kept under observation. October 13th, Hammett PD begins formal investigation. Both parents are interviewed. Inconsistent accounts noted by investigators. Doctors report rib and skull fractures and brain hemorrhages. Non-accidental trauma. October 14th through the 31st, detectives gather medical records, x-rays, physician statements, confirming abuse indicators. CPS reveals family history and home conditions. November 6th, Officer G. Alvarez files declaration in probate cause affiant. Affiant, both parents had care/custody, injuries from willful cruelty/neglect. Natural causes ruled out, charge requested, felony child abuse/child endangerment. Case was the People versus Haro, Jake Mitchell, case number June 8, 2023, pleading and sentencing. Mandatory settlement conference in Riverside County. Defendant pleaded change plea to guilty. Judge Dwight Moore. Dwight Moore, you sucked. Okay? You let this, I mean, I don't even know if you were the judge who let him out, but if you are, you sucked because you let him out. Really? You let him out on probation, and he goes and does this to Emmanuel. Are you freaking kidding me? He literally made a 10-month-old baby girl a vegetable state, and you're telling me that he can have probation, he can walk freely? Yeah, no. Sentencing was 180 days work release, several years felony probation, sentence imposed directly by the court, not DA agreement. DA objection in records. Riverside County DA office objection to the record. The court proceeded with sentence over objection. DA's office refused to sign the sentencing documents. Case in context injury. Abuse of a 10-week-old infant. Rezoning and permanent disability. Okay. I think he actually has the record. Yes, it does. Okay. So while I find, because it's 20 pages, while I get that settled, I'm going to show you some videos. What is this? Oh, it's just the sources. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about Rebecca's family, too, and her brother and what he did. While that plays, I'm going to play you the press conference from today. Hi, Sunnyside. How are you? I saw earlier you said you hope you're awake for this. I came on early just for you. You're cleaning? Oh, I hope you're having a good cleaning. Okay, let me play this while I get the document ready.
Good morning. My name is Mike Hester, and I'm the Riverside County District Attorney. Welcome. I want to do a couple of things today. First thing I want to do is introduce the individuals that are here on stage with me. First off, to my far left, we have Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco. We have San Bernardino County Sheriff Sergeant Nicholas Clark. We have San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Dykes. We have Assistant District Attorney Brandon Smith, and then myself. So someone who's not here, I want to thank as well, or introduce as well, Jason Anderson, San Bernardino County District Attorney. I want to start by thanking these gentlemen up here. I want to thank the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Office for their professionalism and their cooperation and the great work that they've done here so far. I want to thank Jason Anderson and the San Bernardino DA's office. His Bureau of Investigation has recently formed a high-tech crimes unit. They were instrumental in helping us with this investigation. Let me tell you how things are going to go today. There's going to be several individuals that make statements up here, and then when we're all done with the short statements, I will come back up and we will have a question and answer. I will take questions. I will take all of your questions till there are no more questions. Having said that, there's a lot that we can't say, that I can't say, that nobody up here can say. And the reason is that the defendants in this case have been charged with crimes, serious crimes. And so now they have a presumption of innocence that applies to them. They're innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I'm not allowed to prove my case in the court of public opinion. And so that's there's a lot that we can't say in terms of the facts and the evidence. For that, you will have to come to the court and to the various hearings and see how the case plays out. However, having said that, it's appropriate to have a press conference because it was the defendants in this case that had a press conference first. And they did so in order to tell the public, the media, and ultimately law enforcement that their child had been kidnapped, when in fact that's not what occurred. And so we're here to clear up some misconceptions and to explain how this case unfolded in terms of the investigation. It involves two counties working very well together. I know everybody up here on this stage, we work well together normally, but in this case, I'm very proud of the work that was done by Riverside County Sheriff, San Bernardino County Sheriff, my office, and also the District Attorney's Office in San Bernardino County. All right, so we'll go ahead and kick this off. I'm going to bring up first San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Dicus.
Thank you, Mike. To Mike's point, I want to thank all of you in the media for covering this, specifically the parents' initial statements to the public while we were trying to find Emmanuel. They became critical as we continued through this investigation. But I want to talk about a little bit about the process because we've seen a number of questions related to Amber Alerts and things like that. So I hope when I finish this that everybody understand kind of the course of the investigation. But the investigation started for us on August 14th. When Rebecca Haro reported that her son had been kidnapped. Folks, within 24 hours through video surveillance, we found inconsistencies in Rebecca's statement. And as a result of that, there was no other vehicle to put out on an Amber Alert or anything. And I know many of you were wondering why that didn't occur. But really, after finding out those inconsistencies in the statement on the initial report, that's where hundreds of hours of investigations have come in by our specialized investigations division to try to get to the bottom of what's really going on here. And when I say hundreds of hours, I'm talking about forensic data on vehicles, phones, and potential crime scenes, judicial authorized search warrants that were served. And through that process, that's where we learned that the jurisdiction of where this has occurred was in Riverside County. So hence the Riverside County DA and Riverside County Sheriff's Department, which I can't stress enough. We've had a long-term partnership. We work well together and we know how to get things done in these environments. But that's why the jurisdiction had changed from the original jurisdiction that was reported in, which is Yucaipa, California. But as we went through that portion of the investigation and realized that these things that had happened in Riverside County, you saw the culmination of all the different entities get involved. And going back to what Mike mentioned about the DA's office in San Bernardino County and high-tech crimes, forensically, there are a number of things that we were able to prove up that we're not going to be able to share today exactly how we did that, but there is a tremendous amount of evidence that suggests that the initial story posed was not the correct story. So in that partnership with our agencies, I'm going to introduce my partner, Chad Bianco, where this crossover occurred at Riverside, and we reached out to Mike, who's obviously filing the case, and of course, Chad, to assist us in the investigation. Chad?
Thank you. Like Sheriff Dicus, I just want to thank all of you for, especially the normal mainstream media, for your attention to this and for your cooperation in this as we were assisting San Bernardino in this investigation, trying to originally find a missing baby, but then eventually quickly learning that that investigation was not something that it started as. Not so much for social media and keyboard warriors who quite honestly sometimes hamper and prevent us from a good investigation. I do want to expand a little bit about our relationship with San Bernardino. A lot from the media, a lot of questions have been raised about jurisdiction. And what Sheriff Dicus and I routinely talk about to our own communities isn't really necessarily displayed in the media or said to the media, but neither one of us care about jurisdiction. Our belief is that the Inland Empire is better served when we are cooperating and working together. And in this investigation from the very beginning, it was obvious that it could involve both counties. When something like that happens, particularly in this case, the original investigation began with Sheriff Dicus, and If he chooses to take it to the end, he will, which obviously he did. And my position is Sheriff Dicus is responsible for this and the assistance of my department. So there is no asking us. There is no anything like that. It is, we have to serve our public best, and he has every single available resource that the Riverside County Sheriff's Office has to offer to make sure that we provide justice in this case. This is an extensive investigation with both agencies that ultimately is headed by the supervisor of the Detective Bureau from the Sheriff's Office in San Bernardino. But the cooperation, as you can see, between the both counties is what is going to bring this to a successful conclusion. There is absolutely nothing, no crime more important than the injury of a human being, particularly a child. And the amount of resources that were expended to find this baby and to ultimately bring the people to justice responsible for the loss of this baby, I can't even tell you the amount of resources that were expended in this. It is a massive investigation that will obviously be ongoing, and we appreciate your efforts. This involves a lot of things, though, from us, and hopefully there are more questions to be answered, but I'll end it by saying this before we get into more questions specifically about this case. This was preventable in numerous ways. The amount of response we have had from the public, the enormous anger that a child was not only originally thought to be kidnapped, but then presumably murdered, kind of warms my heart a little bit, that there is compassion still out there. There is care about other people. There is, people actually do care about other people. There is absolutely nothing worse than harming a baby. Broken bones, injuries, life-altering trauma. And had that case been successfully handled how it should have been, Emmanuel would still be with us today. So I thank you all for taking the time and the effort to make sure that the world sees this investigation, and we will successfully bring it to conclusion with the help of both DA's offices.
Thank you, Sheriff. I neglected to mention that Sergeant Nicholas Clark is the lead investigator on this case. So even though he's San Bernardino County, he will be functioning as the lead investigator on this case, which is ongoing. The investigation is ongoing, even though we have filed charges. And then Brandon Smith is going to be the lead prosecutor on the case, obviously Riverside County prosecutor. And with that, obviously, you all know, yesterday in court, we filed murder charges on both Jake and Rebecca Haro. We also filed filing of a false police report. And with that, I will take questions. I know you're going to have a lot of questions. I do want to lay some ground rules. The way we do it here is don't shout at me, no chaos, just raise your hand. I ask you to ask me one question at a time. I'll do my best to call on everybody. When we've gotten through everyone who has a question, then we can go back and ask more follow-ups, okay? So I'll start here on the front row. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Stephanie Buchanan. My question is, first of all, do you have any idea where baby Emmanuel is at this point?
You know, yes, we have a pretty strong indication of where the remains of baby Emmanuel are. So that investigation is ongoing at this time. Yes, go ahead.
Matt Johnson, Court TV. What was the information that led to the initial search off the 60 in Moreno Valley?
Sheriff, you want to take that?
I'm not going to go into grave detail about that, but there is some level of cooperation with the suspects involved in this, and we're trying to locate that, and our job is to follow every lead. But for the rest of the room here, we have to understand what you're dealing with is an experienced child abuser that is aware of a previous case, that is aware of evidentiary things that we are certainly concerned with. So we're going to take every step to not only work with any suspect or witness involved in this, because at the end of the day.
Yes, sir.
Eddie with Action Eye News. I noticed on the arrest record.
I think it skipped. I don't know why I did that. Yes, I always miss your lives. I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you made it. Everyone has been telling me they've been missing my lives. I'm like, it's okay. I think I just come on too late. The parents make you angry. They make me angry too. So that was from today. That was today's press conference. I know we all saw it. Now I was getting this and other documents in the background. So this was from the 2023 sentencing. This was Jake's Haro, what they gave him after what he did to Baby Promise. I believe if they would have left him in jail, Baby Emmanuel would have been alive. But this is from them. So he got probation. He was released on work release. It was granted on 6/8/2023. It was supposed to expire in 2027. It was revoked, and his status date was the 9th of 2024. So the following terms and conditions are in effect. Number 1, you must obey all laws, ordinance, and court orders. Number 2, be committed to be in custody of the Riverside County Sheriffs for 180 days. Number 3, 179 days to be served in the work release program. Report on or before 7/7/2023. Number 4, be committed to the custody of the Riverside County Sheriffs for 1 day for booking purposes only. Number 5, pay victim restitution. Any disputes as a restitution amount will be resolved in court hearing. Number 6, submit to immediate search of property, including all residence premises, storage units, containers, and vehicles under your control. Number 7, provide a DNA sample as directed by probation or law enforcement personnel. Number 8, participate and complete at your expense any counseling, rehabilitation, treatment program deemed appropriate by a probation officer and authorized. Number 9, enroll in probation approved 1-year minimum child abuse treatment program. Provide proof of enrollment to PO within 30 days of this order/release. Number 10, do not associate with any unrelated person you know to be either on probation, parole, mandatory supervision, or post-release community supervision. Number 11, do not leave the state of California without first obtaining written permission of probation department per the Interstate Compact Act. Number 12, keep the probation officer informed of your place of residence, given written notice to the probation officer 24 hours prior to the change of residence. 13, seek and maintain gainful employment or attend full-time school or vocational program. 14, do not have any direct or indirect contact with Jane Doe, which would be, I believe, his daughter. So he has to do all this in order for him to be out. We're not done. There's still more. 15, do not knowingly own, possess, or have under your control or immediate access to any firearm, deadly weapon, ammunition, or weapon-related paraphernalia. I believe he did have firearm because that's on his record. 16, provide true name, address, and date of birth if contacted by law enforcement. 17, if expelled or deported, do not re-enter the United States illegally. Any valid domestic violence protection/restraining order existing and during the period of probation is incorrupted into the probation terms. 19, report to probation officer immediately or within 2 days of release from custody for initial instructions and follow all reasonable directives of PO. 20, if expelled or deported or voluntarily leave the United States, you must report to the probation department by telephone or in writing within 30 days of departure. 21, provide 20 hours of community service through a nonprofit organization, complete by 7/22/2024. So basically, Jake had to do all these 21 things in order to be walking free. And if he did all that, he was good, as long as he reported to his PO. Now, it's still unconfirmed. Well, I haven't found it. Why did you let him out? I guess he wanted probation. He wanted to be put out on work release. Shame on that judge. Because like Sunnyside said here, his butt should have been in prison. Yeah, his butt should have been in prison. I was wondering what happened low. It skipped. Yeah, it skipped. I don't know why it skipped. But I agree. If he was in prison, I'm pretty sure baby Emmanuel would have been alive. He would have been well. I don't know what that was. Yeah, so as long as he followed those 21 rules and did what he had to do, he was fine. He didn't have to worry about anything. Now, I did search up malice murder in California. So according to this, it refers to the unlawful unaliving of a human being with malice in forethought, a legal concept that establishes a necessary mental state for a murder charge under California Penalty Code 187. Malice can be either expressed, meaning a deliberate intent to unalive, or impelled, meaning a conscious disregard for human life or an abandoned and malignant heart in circumstances lacking provocation. So there's types of malice. You have express malice. This occurs when a defendant has direct, deliberate intention to unlawfully take another person's life. An example would be a person who plans and executes a unaliving with a clear goal of causing death. Then you got impelled malice. This type of malice is found when a person commits an inherently dangerous act with conscious disregard for the risk of unaliving or serious injury to others without considerable provocation. It involves a depraved indifference to human life, such as when a person acts in an abandoned and malignant heart. An example could be a reckless truck driver speeding in a populated area, knowing their brakes might fail, but continue to drive at dangerous speed, leading a fatal crash. How malice aforethought relates to degree in murder. Malice aforethought is crucial in determining whether a killing constitutes first degree or second degree murder. First degree usually involves express malice, requiring a willful, deliberate, and premeditated design to unalive. Second degree typically involves implied malice, where a person acts with intent to cause seriously bodily injury or has conscious disregard for human life without premeditation. Now, I actually have it here too on this one. Bam. I think so. Yeah. If he was in prison, I'm pretty sure Emmanuel would be alive and well. So, if they get first or second degree murder with malice, I know she's charged with first degree, and I think him too. I don't remember their charges. I have to go back and look. Let me see. I actually have it here. Let me see. Or is it? There it is. So she's charged with first degree murder. Murder in the first degree, yeah. But she also has murder with malice on there. He has... Where is he at? I think this is him. Yeah. He has... Same thing. Murder with malice. False report of a crime. Murder with malice. So he has 2 murder with malice. Okay. So, if they end up going with first or second degree murder with malice, the defendant is charged with in count blank with murder in violation. To provide them guilty, number 1, the defendant committed an act that caused the death of another person and or fetus. And number 2, when the defendant acted, he/she had the state of mind called malice aforethought. This is for the state of California. Number 3, he/she killed with lawful excuse or jurisdiction. There are two kinds of malice aforethought: express malice and implied malice. Proof of either is significant to establish the state of mind required for murder. The defendant acted with express malice if he or she lawfully intended to kill. The defendant acted with implied malice if 1, he/she intentionally committed an act. 2, the natural and probate consequences of the act were dangerous to human life. Number 3, at the time he/she he/she knew him or her act was dangerous to human life. And number 4, he/she deliberately acted with conscious disregard for human/or fetal life. So number 1, basically, if they get charged with first degree of murder with malice, There's two kinds. So express malice, they unlawfully intended to unalive people. And then there's implied malice, where they intentionally committed an act, and many other things. What do you think? Do you think it's express malice or implied malice? Malice aforethought does not require hatred or ill will toward the victim. It is a mental state that must be formed before the act that causes death is committed. It does not require deliberation or the passage of any particular period of time. It is not necessary that the defendant be aware of the existence of a fetus to be guilty of murdering the fetus. Huh? A fetus is an unborn human being that has progressed beyond the. Okay, we know what a fetus is. An act causes death if the death is direct, natural, probate. Consequences of the act of the unalive would have happened without the act. The natural and probate consequences is one that the reasonable person would know is likely to happen if nothing unusual intervenes in deciding whether the consequence is natural and probate. Consider all the circumstances established by the evidence. There may be more than one cause of unaliving. An act causes death only if it is a substantial factor in causing death. Huh. Okay. Oh, so it's just like, if you find the defendant guilty of murder, it is the murder of the second degree. I got this online. Okay, I think it's just gonna give like second degree murder of a fetus. He's not a fetus. He was a baby. Driving under the influence. They weren't driving under the influence though. Okay, I think this is just other charges, but we wanted to focus on malice. So there was two types of malice. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Where'd it go? Visit site. Let me pull that back up. Now, since they were charged with malice murder, there's two. There's express and there's implied. So express, basically, they had a direct, deliberate intention to unlawfully take another person's life. The example would be the person who plans and executes a killing with the clear goal of causing death. So their goal, no matter what, they were going to unalive somebody. That's express malice. They have a direct and deliberate intention to unlawfully take another person's life. That's express. So implied is when the type of malice is found when a person commits an inherently dangerous act with the conscious disregard of the risk of death or serious injury to others. So implied means I'm going to do it. No matter what, if I get in trouble or not, I'm going to do it. The example would be that they put is a reckless truck driver speeding in a populated area knowing their brakes would fail but continuing to drive in dangerous speeds leading to a fatal crash. So there's two. Do you think they'll be charged with express or implied malice? And then of course, if they get first degree murder, it usually involves express malice, requiring a willful, deliberate, and premeditated design to kill. Second degree is typically involve implied malice, where a person acts with intent to cause seriously bodily injury or has conscious disregard for a human life without premeditation. So I think second degree, if I'm reading it right, they're just doing it even though they don't care what the consequences are. Number one, they're set on it and they're doing it. To me, with everything I've seen and knowing Jake's history, I believe first degree. In my opinion, I'm going with first degree. If he did what he did to his daughter, I'm pretty sure he can do worse to baby Emmanuel. From her background history of what they said her brother did, I believe she would be first degree as well. Now, I do have where is it? I have so many tabs open. I do have the background of her brother. So Rebecca has this brother, and everyone thought it was Jake, but it's not Jake. It's the brother. It's her brother. I mean, he kind of does look like Jake. So, here we go. So James Buchan, who was 34, is accused in the pew-pewing death of his girlfriend, Jalen Amanda Keith, who is 27. She was found at 10 a.m. March 15th. She had been pew-pewed in the head and was found in the bathtub in Berlindo Road apartment the couple had shared. That didn't take me to the document. That took me to someone else's document. So you're like, who's James and what this has to do with it? So James, they say allegedly is Rebecca's brother. Now people think that Rebecca allegedly took some tips from her brother because of what he did. Now, if you know who James Buchan is and what he did and why it's involved in this case, I'm going to tell you what he did. He was convicted on July of first-degree murder in March 15 of 2017 of the death of Jalen Amanda Keith. Keith was found with a single gunshot wound to the center of her forehead in the bathtub of Berlindo Road apartment that they shared. They were together. That was his girlfriend. Assistant Attorney Michelle Paradise told jurors that Buchan re-entered Keith unconscious and placed her in the tub, then shot her while shielding himself from blood splatter behind the shower curtain. So basically, from what I've heard, was that he pew-pewed her and made it look like she committed suicide. He cleaned himself up and pretended he didn't know what happened. So on December 28th of 2016, a text from Jalen Keith to a friend. James has been drinking for the last 4 days. This might be the end for us. It tops it all. So the reason they think that he killed his girlfriend was because he was so into drinking and other things that she was going to leave him, that he told her, I'm done with you. I don't want this anymore. He got angry and he eventually killed her. Made it look like she committed suicide. He tried to cover up his tracks. Now you kind of see why some people think that she was involved in Emmanuel's unaliving. They think that she probably allegedly took some tips from her brother and she tried to cover it up as best as she could. Well, honey, you failed from the beginning. We read through your lies. Like, hello, we went through your teeth. If we can go through Jennifer Soto's, we can go through you as well. On March 15 of 2017, Keith was found dead in a bathtub with a gunshot wound to the center of her forehead on an apartment of the 600 blocks of North Belrado Road. Jalen had been planning on leaving James, fearing for her safety when he killed her. March 14, 2017, Keith texted family members that Buchan got psycho on me during an altercation in which he smashed his cell phone and screamed at her. Keith was going to tell him she was leaving him after he sobered up and said she was afraid things would get physically bad when she told him in one text message she relied to a friend that Buchan had taken a pistol out of his gun safe, which scared her and caused her to take the safe keys and hide them. Buchan provided these 3 statements and events of Keith's death that were each contradictory to one another. During a 911 call, Buchan stated he was asleep and had awoken by the sound of a gunshot. Buchan later told emergency crews he had been awakened by an electrical popping sound and it took him 20 minutes to find Keith. Buchan later told Keith's father that he got home, said Keith got up, went and killed herself. He also said that she was still alive when he discovered her. Court documents also revealed that Buchan stated he had located a 9mm firearm underneath Keith's right hip, that he handled the firearm and moved Keith's body. After an investigation later proved that Buchan's statements on the finding and firearm behind and underneath Keith's body were inconsistent. So later on, they ended up finding out that he did it, which is very crazy to me. Wow, yeah. Not a lot of people, I've been looking, not a lot of people know about this. Not a lot of people have been talking about her brother and what he did. Hang on. Okay. So now, oh, we read that, right? Yeah, we read that. Hang on, let me get the next one. A lot of people have been saying that maybe baby Emmanuel had signs of shaken baby syndrome. So of course I had to Google it. So he was 7 months old when the alleged abduction happened. So shaken baby syndrome, also known as abusive head trauma, can occur in a 7-month-old and is considered a medical emergency. At this age, a baby's brain is still developing and their head is heavily relative to their body, and their neck muscles are weak, making them highly vulnerable to injury from violent shaking. If you suspect the baby has been shaking, you call 911. Okay, so why is it harmful? Why is shaking so harmful to a 7-month-old? Well, it can lead to brain swelling, bruising to the brain, tearing the brain vessel in the brain, eyes, and causing bleeding. Signs and symptoms would be seizures, breathing problems, loss of consciousness, extreme irritability, vomiting, pale or blushing skin, unequal pupil size, lymphness, bulging soft spot on the head. Long-term effects, permanent brain damage, intellectual or learning disabilities, development delays, behavior disorders, vision or hearing impairment, seizures, cerebral palsy. No, I was not calling you Siri. My Siri went off. My bad. Paralysis. So a lot of people speculate that maybe baby Emmanuel was a victim of shaken baby. And the reason they say that was because of the photos of baby Emmanuel and how he looked. Some people think he was born with a disability. Some think he was born cross-eyed. He just has cross-eyed eyes. Let me see. And the reason because they think of his eyes mostly, how the eyes get. That I don't know. I don't know if Emmanuel had a disability or if he had shaken baby syndrome. But a lot of people think that he did, just because of the way his eyes were. Now I don't know. To me, in my opinion, I allegedly think, I don't know why, maybe Emmanuel was born with a disability that I don't know. Either way, he's a precious little baby boy who deserves to be alive. I hate how they said he endured long abuse. I hate that. If Rebecca or Jake did not want Emmanuel, you don't abuse your child. You can take him to the fire department, no questions asked, and they'll take him. You can adopt him out to a good, loving family. There's families out there who are trying to get pregnant and have kids, and they adopt. You could literally send them. You can literally adopt him out to people if you didn't want him. You're not going to get judged for adopting your child or anything like that. But he's so precious. He deserved to live. Now what do you guys think? There's one of three options. Do you think that, number one, do you think allegedly Jake and Rebecca didn't like Emmanuel? They never wanted Emmanuel, so they unalived him. Number two, do you think he had a disability? And knowing Jake's past, and Jake looks like he has no temper. He doesn't have any patience. Do you think Jake one day got fed up with Emmanuel, unalived him? Rebecca saw, he beat Rebecca. Do you think he was beating Rebecca too as well? I mean, they said Emmanuel, well, they say Emmanuel had my nose, endured child abuse. Do you think he was abusing Emmanuel and Rebecca? Or number three, do you think that they both abused him and, they didn't care? They just wanted him gone? There's so many things. I have so many questions. I'm just like, they have failed this poor little baby. Everybody has failed this baby. His sweet face. Yeah, he has such a sweet face. I don't know. Some people think he has shaken baby syndrome. I don't know. In my opinion, I think maybe he's tired, maybe he's sleepy, or he could have a disability. Now, a lot of people have always asked, how can people do this to their own child? Why do people do this to their own child? There's many things, there's many studies. Based off what we learned, Gabriel Fernandez, for example, Gabriel was loved by his two gay uncles, and his mom and the boyfriend did not like that. They wanted to, quote unquote, beat the gay out of Gabriel Fernandez. That's why they abused him, singled him out, and not the other kids. Casey Anthony, for example. Casey Anthony never wanted to be a mom. She wanted to go out, have fun, live her life. She wasn't ready to be a mom, so she unalived Casey. Allegedly. All alleged. Another one would be Anthony Avalos. He told his parents that he was gay at a young age. He was little. He didn't know what that meant. And the parents beat the living life out of him because of that. Another one would be I'm trying to think of another case we talked about. Madeline Soto. Stephen Stearns was a pervert. He went and raped her and unalived her. For what reasons? We still don't know. We're still trying to figure that out. Baby Emmanuel. It could be many things why they singled him out and not the other kids. Baby Promise. Now, from what I heard, he literally abused her and beat her to the point where she only has 3%, 4% functional brain. She's pretty much almost a vegetable, and she has to live with that for the rest of her life, that sweet little baby girl. Emmanuel, they said they had abused him for a long time. It could be many reasons why they did it to Emmanuel. I think they both did. Yeah, me too. I think they both did. Now, I don't know why, but I've been seeing lots of TikToks, lots and lots of TikToks of people who are like, hear me out. What if Rebecca was in a domestic violence? What if Jake was domestically violent to her? What if he physically beat her? Now, we read earlier that on September 9th, he has to go back to court because his second ex-wife put a permanent restraining order on him and for her child that they have together, their son, because of domestic violence. So now I'm kind of like, I mean, the dude's already an evil person. He beats kids. Now he beats women. I mean, what else? He probably do worse. He probably beats animals. I don't know. He's a monster. He's a POS. Like, and her, I mean, she is too. She really is. Look what her brother did. I mean, it just, I don't know. Some people on TikTok are like, maybe Rebecca was in domestic violence. If you are in a domestic violence relationship, you can leave. You can leave. Do not think you can't. You can leave. You can take your child with you. You can take your pets with you. There's centers out there. I looked it up in California. I did my research. If Rebecca came out and said, oh, I'm in a domestic violence relationship, girl, there's places you can go to. You can even go to the police station and they'll take you in with your child, with your pet, with anything you have. They'll take you in. There is help out there if you are in a domestic violence. I will provide the domestic violence hotline after this. It's actually in my Discord as well. But a lot of people think on TikTok, allegedly, that Rebecca is probably a victim of domestic violence. From what I've seen of her, I don't know. I think she's a piece of shit. I think she's a monster because if she allowed Jake or she was involved in it, I think they're both involved in it. How could you do that to an innocent little baby that you carried in your belly for 9 months? How can you do this to Emmanuel? If you didn't want Emmanuel, there's options that you can give him to a loving family who would take him. No questions asked, no judgment. Though, literally give him to a good home. I just still don't understand why. I can never get a full understanding of why men and women abuse their kid. There's so many studies on it. We've actually talked about the studies on the Gabriel Fernandez case when we covered that. So I'm kind of like, it's just, I don't know. Now I have some TikToks that we're going to see. Now this one actually stuck out to me. I don't know why. But it stuck out to me for many reasons. I don't know why. But they're comparing Susan Smith to Rebecca. Some even did one of her and Casey Anthony, and then her and Jennifer Soto, and her and another person. So let's look at this.
Got him out of the car seat, and I laid him down and so I could get his diapers ready. And somebody said, "Hola," and that's all I remember. And I saw white, and a hearing sound. I fell on the floor, and I said, as I got up, I couldn't find my son. I checked all around my truck, and I ran into Big Five, and I asked the lady if she saw a baby or someone with a baby. She said no.
I was stopped at a red light, and I was looking this way, looking toward the left, and it was just like, in a second, he was in my car. It just opened the car door, and I just screamed. I said, "What are you doing?" He just shut up and drive, and he had a gun, and he was poking it in my side, told me to drive. And so I drove, and I was trying to ask them one time, why, what do you want? Please just, don't hurt me or the children. He said, and he never said anything. All he ever told me was, "Shut up or I'll kill you." He said, "Don't say anything else." And my children were crying, and I was trying to tell them, that it was okay, that, don't worry. And he would, and he let me talk to them. And then we just got maybe 3 or 4 miles down the road, and he told me, he said, "I want you to stop." And I said, "Stop right here?" He said, "Yeah, stop right here." And it was just in the middle of the road. I mean, and I stopped, and he told me to get out. And I was in the driver's side, he was in the passenger side. And so I opened the door. I said, "I'm going to get my children before I go." He
Okay. So they compared her to Susan Smith. Now, if you hear the background, that's Oblivia's Benson playing. I didn't know she was going live right now. So let's see the next one. So the next video I have involving a TikTok would be this one. Shout out to Abby Balabi. So Abby Balabi actually, Abby something. She did a video involving Jake's daughter, Promise, and what happened to her, and I want to kind of share that on here. Let me play it.
If you've been following the case of Emmanuel Haro, the 7-month-old baby whose mother reported that he was kidnapped on Thursday, August 14th at a Big Five retail store in Yucaipa, California, you are not ready for what I'm about to tell you. I think everybody knows by now that his father, Jake, was convicted in 2023 of willful child cruelty from a 2018 charge involving his 10-week-old daughter. Well, this is that daughter. So look, it says here on October 13th, 2018, Haro and Avina, that was his wife at the time, their 10-week-old daughter was admitted to the hospital where she had an acute or new fractured rib, 6 ribs with healing fractures, a skull fracture, brain hemorrhage, swelling of the neck, and a fractured leg bone that was healing. He blamed Vanessa for the baby's injuries, and they were both arrested and charged. The baby girl ended up going to one of Vanessa's cousins who has her to this day. She actually ended up adopting her. Now, when she was born, Jake and Vanessa named her Carolina Rose, but after the cousin got her, she renamed her to Promise Faith. I'm just going to show you guys a few pictures of her. It's just heartbreaking. Another one. Promise turned 7 on July 31st, and let me tell you how Jake's beating has affected her life. As you can see, she has a tracheostomy tube. She's blind. She can't walk. She can't talk. The cousin said she has about 3% brain function left, and she's 100% dependent for all cares. Now, I was informed that Vanessa did drink while she was pregnant with her, but despite that, she was born healthy. She didn't have any problems until she was beaten. Now, this little boy is named Carlos, but his original name was Jake Haro II. He's Jake and Vanessa's older child, and the cousin has custody of him too. He was born with fetal alcohol syndrome. And let me add, the 2-year-old child that was removed from Jake and Rebecca's home, the cousin has that child as well. And look, I want to show you guys this. This is from when the cousin and her husband adopted Promise. And before anybody says anything, because I didn't blur faces out, she gave me permission to post this. Going back to Emmanuel, I don't understand how a man can practically kill their 10-week-old baby and not get serious prison time and remarry and have more kids that aren't immediately taken by CPS. I mean, I feel like this is once again a system fail. And after hearing the details about Promise, I'm convinced more than ever that they know exactly what happened to Emmanuel and where he is. I just want to say, I think the cousin and her husband are such amazing, wonderful people for taking these children and giving them the best life they can possibly have. If you've been following the case of Emmanuel Haro, the 7-month-old baby whose mother reported that he was kidnapped on Thursday, August 14th at a Big 5 retail store in Yucaipa, California, you are not ready for what I'm about to tell you. I think everybody knows by now that his father, Jake, was convicted in 2023 of willful child cruelty from a 2018 charge involving his 10-week-old daughter. Well, this is that daughter. So look, it says here on October 13th, 2018, Haro and Avina, that was his wife at the time.
Okay, so that's one. Hi, Melissa. Hi.
50% of me thinks
I'm currently streaming Dad in the background.
We're going to do a whole deep dive on Kenneth McDuff in the near future and on this case. So perfect. Yes, Des, exactly. I want to also, perfect response. That is, I want to do that too. And I also not only want to do that, but I'd like to get my friend Sarah on here.
Okay, I'll go back to Dad right now. So that's one. Shout out to Abby Balabi. Abby Balabi, I think I'm saying it right for that. Another one I saw that caught my attention was where is it? This one. When they received the flyers, the way they acted. So if you saw the original flyers, you saw on their little makeshift flyer that they put, instead of missing baby, they put missing kid, Emmanuel Haro. They put one little detail about him, and that's it. And it was literally just, the poster was so big of just Emmanuel's face. Now the community went out and they were so thoughtful. Let me put that down. They were so thoughtful to make
Hold on. Paranoid of the cops, and that be something separate of it. But at the same time, he's the one that roped in the other boys.
So what ended up happening was the community was like, they were so thoughtful. They made a good suggestion. They're like, here, we made you flyers to go put out, to go post out. We know you're going through so much stress, so much anxiety. We got you. The community is like, you know what? We got you guys. Their reaction to seeing the box of flyers has me like, no. They were like, what the F is this? Why would they do this? They were like, So seeing that, I'm kind of like, yeah, they've been bound fooling us since the beginning. Just their reactions, the way they are when they get flyers. If you are like if you're a parent, you would want any help in any way to find your child. Them, I don't think they wanted the help. They knew what they did. They knew they were fucked. They knew they were screwed. Now, seeing this, like, just the reaction just has me like, are you kidding me? Like, look at their reaction. Look at Rebecca.
Football, he plays down the 7th Street Park, and the baby was crouching. He falls asleep on the car ride. She got hit from a mouth guard here, but this one, she was in the back of the car getting the baby. That's the only symptoms they had. That's the only thing they had for nothing inside. Why did they put missing? And that's what they put. They made it fun. Yeah, but you should people said that. Yeah, and they taking photos of like her husband cut for football. He plays down the 7th Street Park. And the baby was pushing. He falls asleep on the car ride. She got hit from a mouth guard here. But this one, she was in the back of the car getting the baby. That's the only difference.
The fact that he said missing, well, duh, you doofus, your child's missing. What do you think? He's at the McDonald's chilling, waiting for you? Like, are you so dumb? So fake? Yeah, they're so fake. Like, are you freaking kidding me? He's kind of like missing, like his face when he said missing. Like, well, duh, you dumb fool. Like, your child's missing. Like, what do you want it to say? Like, oh, like, are you freaking kidding me?
That everybody's concerned about.
Another one that came up was this one. So there's this thing on TikTok. Hold on, I can't play the music for legal, not for legal, but for copyright. But there's this trend going on TikTok where it's like, you know, what do you mean he drained you, or what do you mean she drained you? And they do pictures of you before you got with that person that drained you or who was horrible to you versus after. So they did one on Rebecca, and this girl basically said, I did some digging and found these pictures of Rebecca Haro, and this is sad. I honestly feel bad. Hold on, I have to make my screen bigger. I did some digging and found these pictures of Rebecca Haro. This is honestly sad, and I feel bad for all the children he's hurt. So they did a before and after of Rebecca Haro before she got with Jake versus after or during while she's with Jake. So this is Rebecca and how she looked before she got with Jake. And then this is her. They're going to show her during, right now, her being with Jake. And a lot of people think that he drained her. They think he's abusing her. Many, many, many things. I don't want to play the music because I'll get copyrighted. This is her now.
And I do think it's very, very disturbing that everyone would jump to this is an immature crime. This is disorganized. This was done.
Now, another one I'm going to show you is of Jake when they had him out there looking.
And they happened to be blocks of where Kenneth Duff and Alma was.
I'm pretty sure you can hear OB in the background. I'll put the link for OB in the chat after. So this is them. So it says, was on her way home and came across a search party for Emmanuel Haro off the 60 freeway. Jake Haro can be seen with detectives. Poor baby. May they find him and properly lay him to rest. Yes.
Lines up very close with where he shot all of his victims. He also did not discriminate. He shot boys. He shot girls. He was known for ligature strangulations. What disturbs me the most about the possibility of McDuff is he was also called groups to kill for a reason.
So there's Jake. They had him out there. He was out there saying, allegedly, he said that that's where they went and like dumped Emmanuel. They didn't find anything. So Jake was just toying with him. Jake was playing with him. Jake was just, playing the bullshit games. Now that is there, we saw those videos. Shaking baby syndrome. I think I have. Let me see the machine. My computer is going slow now. If you hear the background, it's OB playing in the background. Now, this is what I found online. If it decides to load ever. Okay. Where's my share screen option? So, as I told you, there was several calls and there were several police out there in the Haro house. Okay. So, prior to that, there's all these different calls that were reported at that specific house. Shout out to Abby Balabi, and I believe his name's Steve Fisher. They posted all this on Twitter X. I finally logged on to my Twitter X and I saw all this. But they had many calls back in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2025. Now they all have special codes, and I have all those codes with you. So let me see. This is my Discord, by the way. Besides that, Hector Jacob Haro, which is Jake's Haro's brother, he mysteriously died in the house of Jake and Rebecca. Nobody knows how he died or what happened. He passed away in the house. And that was one of the calls that was made. So this is all the codes of just what was being done. So they had suspicious circumstances, they had mail theft, they had petty theft, they had a burglary in progress, death, it's on there, it's unattended death. That is the brother of what they believe of how he mysteriously passed away in the house. Check the welfare. They had a disturbance. They had assist with other departments, agencies, minor crime, keep the peace, and an area check, and of course battery. That was all said and done in their house, which is very crazy to me. Another one I saw, if I click on it, was this. So as you know, Jake Haro was released on probation and work release. So on here, I got it from Abby Blabby. It was on Twitter. He be committed to the custody of the Riverside County Sheriff for 1 day for booking purposes only. Report to the nearest Riverside County Jail by 6/15/2023. So he had to report, of course, after they put him on work release. Are you sure you want to? Oh, no, I don't want to delete it. I want to click on it. Why is it not? So inmates in work release programs may also typically go home to their families at night instead of checking into a correctional facility with regular check-ins at the correctional facility as required by that court. So could it have been, instead of, Jake, he had to stay there, could they have said, no, you can go home, you just come and check in on us? Could that have happened? Possibly. I still don't know why the judge let him on work release and let him walk free. Don't get why you did that. Be committed of the Riverside for, okay, yeah, we talked about that. Another one, let me zoom out. I want to talk about is, okay, we did the press release. What is this? So they ended up charging his first wife. Why did I go back to my Discord? My bad. I'm clicking the wrong button. Okay, hold on. I'll go back to Obi. So they ended up doing the People versus Vanessa Avina. So Vanessa Avina is the mother to baby Promise. She was Jake's first wife. They went and they ended up going against her. So she had the willful child cruelty charge. She also had willful harm / injured child endanger health. She was sentenced on 6/8/2023. I don't know if she's still in prison or she's out walking. She's out free. But they ended up, charging her as well with the same thing, willful child cruelty. Excuse me. Oh, wait, hold on. I think she got work release too, if I'm reading this right. Proof of completion of work release program. Okay. She served 120 days in county jail. Okay, so I think yeah, okay, so she probably did the same thing as Jake. She did the work release. Well, damn, I mean, you should have put them both in prison. Okay, now I'm going to read you. Okay, I read that part. Where did it go? I had the document. I have so much on my Discord. Okay, hold on. Let me put this in the plug. Okay, so now I'm going to read you something that I got off Facebook. It's basically, I guess, like a timeline of the family. Don't read my messages. So this girl, she went and did the family tree. She said, here's the family tree breakdown of the best of my knowledge. So Rebecca Becky Buchon Chavez. Her maiden name is Buchan or Buchon, if I'm saying that wrong. The parents of her is Mary Buchon and Willard. Her dad passed away. She has siblings. James, we talked about James. He's in prison for killing his girlfriend and staging it like she unalived herself. Charlie, Hope, Lorraine, and they have a nephew, Charlie Jr., who died of an overdose. This is all alleged, my opinion, but I believe she's right with James because we talked about James. Marriages and children. Number 1, Danny / Edgar Chavez, also listed as Edgar Gomez Chavez. Rebecca filed for DV with involvement of children. Had 2 children. They're now adults. These kids have not seen or spoken with her in 11 years. Dang. Number 2 is with Jake. She had 2. She had the 2-year-old daughter that they had in custody, and she's in the care of Vanessa's cousin. And number 2 is Emmanuel. Now let's talk about Jake. His parents is Rachel and Scott. Biological father is Hector Sr. Jacob, deceased brother Hector Jr. He died of allegedly what they say is an overdose. Sister Sylvia, which would be the girl that comes out. I think Pascal shows it. We're going to see it. So his first wife is Isabel. Had 1 child together. The boy whose football game they attended. Rebecca left. Okay, so Isabel's first wife. Vanessa's the second. Okay. So Isabel is the first wife. So if you go back and remember, Jake has to go back to court on the 9th of this year because Isabel is doing a permanent protection order against him for her and her son. Vanessa is the second wife. She had 2 children. She had the son who was born with fetal alcohol syndrome and the daughter who was abused at 10 weeks old. Both parents convicted of willful child cruelty. Vincent Hughes, a.k.a. Jake's attorney in that case. Both children were adopted by Vanessa's cousin. Third is Rebecca. They had 2 children. That is crazy. What is this? Okay, I think this is the... Okay, so this is from Rebecca. So filing date was the 9/2/05. So Rebecca, okay, so I'm believing Rebecca and her mom got a restraining order. Domestic violence without child or children of Rebecca Buchon. Request for order, domestic violence prevention. Request for order, party information entered. Case assigned to administer. Temporary restraining order and notice of hearing. Domestic violence filed by Rebecca Buchon, represented by Pro Hearing. Okay, so this is a domestic violence thing. Okay, so who were they getting domestic violence for? For her first husband? I believe. Okay. Man, we learned so much tonight. Nom, 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 nom. Let me see. Is there any more? Okay. So, shout out to Pascal for this. I'm going to show you, before we wrap it up, this video done by Pascal himself. Go subscribe to the Pascal Show. he's the only one I can find this video from. Let me see where she starts. So Pascal found this video of, I'm believing is Jake's sister. She came out and spoke. This is the video I was telling you about, that she went and spoke. Basically, she repeated everything Rebecca said, but then she deleted the video and then she took off her accounts. And people are suspecting that she probably said something she should have never said. Allegedly, some people think she was getting threats. Many other things. But let's play this.
I'm Emmanuel's aunt, Emmanuel Haro. Some of you may know about what's going on. He was abducted last night in front of the Big Five. Now, there are stories going around that some of you have fabricated. And I'm just on here just to tell you guys what transpired. So my sister-in-law and my brother, they were at my older nephew's football practice, and he needed a new mouth guard. So instead of taking everybody, my sister-in-law opted to go, and she only took the baby, which is Emmanuel. And when she got there, she realized the baby had went to the bathroom in his diaper. So as any mom would, which is crazy because a lot of you women are judging her for even changing a baby's diaper in the car, which is mind-boggling, because if there's no bathroom, you're gonna do what you have to do to take care of your child one way or another. She's a great mother, so everything you guys are saying about her, first of all, you don't know her, and show some compassion. Like she just had her son taken from her.
Now I understand getting on the side of, hey, let's be nice to this mother, because we don't know everything as far as this whole case goes. We don't know the whole story, but at the same time, when you hear that the police are side-eyeing her now, that they have not said that they are literal suspects in this whole case, in his whole disappearance, or that they did anything sinister to him. But the fact that they said there's inconsistencies and they have not ruled out foul play definitely it's going to ruffle a lot of people's feathers. Let's keep that real. There's going to be a lot of people side.
I'm side-eyeing the aunt right now. Like, I don't know. The aunt is giving me weird vibes. To me, I feel like she's faking it too, like them. I agree with, this was released before more details of the case came out. But looking at it now, I feel like maybe allegedly the aunt knows something that we don't know. I think the grandma as well. We saw the way the grandma was acting in that video when they were given the flyers. We even saw Jake and freaking Rebecca's body language. The fact that he said missing, well, duh, you doofus, your child is missing. Hello, he almost slipped up right there too. I'm not gonna give. She's giving me suspicious vibes for many reasons. It's her body language, is the way she's talking. She's basically just repeating what Rebecca told her, or what she was heard, or what she said. And I could be wrong. Maybe she's not. Maybe I'm just overreacting, overthinking. Maybe she's not involved in this. Maybe she doesn't know. Maybe she is out in the blue. She doesn't know what happened. She's just going off what Rebecca and Jake told her. But I don't know. There's something in me that's kind of like she's giving suspicious vibe. Just the way she's talking right now, it's very suspicious to me. Maybe I'm overreacting. What do you guys think? Just looking at that, I think she's kind of sus. I don't know what it is. I can't pinpoint it to you. It's just the way she is, the way she's talking, her language. She's just giving me very sus vibes at this point.
the hell out of this situation, and rightfully so. Yes, I get.
Who's a baby?
Oh, I need to get YouTube Premium on my second. I have two YouTubes. I have my personal YouTube account where I go and watch true crime, and then I have my YouTube true crime account. And this one doesn't have premium yet.
She laid him down in the back. Her back was turned. She was about to change him. She was getting everything prepared, and she felt like a tap on her shoulder. She turned around, and all she heard was "Hola." And before she could even see this person, acknowledge this person, whatever the case may be, he socked her in the face, and she ended up blacking out. He knocked her out, and she fell to the floor. And next thing you know, as she came to, she woke up. She was looking around for the baby. The baby was gone. She started panicking, screaming, crying. She called the police. She ran into Big Five to see if they had cameras outside or if anybody had witnessed anything. And nobody apparently didn't see anything. And then there's no cameras outside. We're so baffled because how are there no cameras outside? Like, in cases like this, like, what are people supposed to do? Sorry.
Now, here it is. That is also the strange convenience of the situation, right?
I don't know. She's just giving me very, very, very sus. She's giving me sus vibes. I don't know. To me, it's very suspicious. I mean, she's basically just repeating what Rebecca said. I'm looking at the comments. Yeah, it's weird how, because some of these comments are like, it's weird how they talk in past tense. It is weird how people talk in past tense, how they're kind of like, oh, he was a sweet little baby. You know, he was this, he was that. I never get why people say he was this, he was that. You know, he was a loving baby. He used to walk, he used to crawl. Some people want him to be, he is a loving baby. He is a baby that would love to walk, crawl, play. They want people to talk in the now tense, not the past tense. We saw that in the Madeline Soto case. They used past tense, Jennifer Soto and Stephen Stearns, and people were like, that's kind of weird. Why'd they do that? Come to find out later on, Madeline Soto was deceased. Stephen Stearns unalived her. So I could see, you know, I would want to know too why. Why are you talking in past tense? You know, why are you saying he was this, he was that? Talk now, like that he's here now. I don't know why people do that. There's, I think, studies on it that people did. I can actually look it up and tell you guys. But is there any new updates? Let me see. Emmanuel Haro. Yes, okay, from the New York Post. Okay. So this was published today. So according to the New York Post, Emmanuel Haro's father admitted to killing missing baby and dumping him in the trash can. I love the New York Post. I always get my sources from the New York Post. So Emmanuel Haro's father, aka Jake, was tricked into admitting that he killed the 7-month-old and dumped his body in a trash can, according to a new report, as authorities say the baby died after enduring lengthy abuse by his parents. Investigators used the undercover inmate to goad Jake Haro into admitting to the grisly crime. News Nation Brian Ensign reported, citing sources. Meanwhile, authorities say they can prove Emmanuel died after a long period of physical abuse at the hands of Haro and his wife Rebecca at their home, Riverside County, California. There's that sweet little baby. We believe baby Emmanuel was subject to abuse over time, and because of that abuse, he succumbed to his injuries, Riverside County District Attorney Michael Hemshrift told reporters Wednesday. We have pretty strong indication of where the remains of baby Emmanuel are, he added. Jake Haro's wife, Rebecca, initially told cops a strange man had hit her in the head. Oh, okay, they're going to go back to the whole Ola story. So here, Jake Haro changed the story from jail, telling cops he rolled over on Emmanuel while he slept and suffocated him, burying his body near a freeway, according to Brian Enton's source. The freeway story may explain why Jake Haro was seen with investigators in a remote field in Moreno Valley. We have some ideas in terms of where we're going to look, and we're going to continue to investigate. Henstrid pointed to a 2023 child abuse conviction against Haro, who is 32, who severely beat his young daughter from previous marriage, leaving the girl bedridden with permanent injuries. Why he ain't got no shirt on? I just noticed that. Why does he not have no shirt on? What is the purpose of this? Why is he naked? Why? The couple have other children, a 2-year-old daughter and a 16-year-old who Jake's stepchild. The daughter has been taken into care of Riverside Child Protective Services. So apparently, according to the New York Post, I mean, I always get my sources from the New York Post, but they got it from Brian Enton, and Brian Enton, from his source, said that Jake admitted that he told them that he unalived Emmanuel, allegedly, alleged, all speculation, I have to do it for legal purposes, and that he threw him in a trash can. But if you go here, it says that he changed the story from jail. He told PD he rolled over on Emmanuel while he slept and suffocated him. Then he buried his body near the freeway. So I'm kind of like, did he really do that? Did he really unalive him and threw him in the trash can? Or did he, did his big fat body roll over and suffocate him, and then he buried him near the freeway? That's why he was out there looking. I don't know. It's very sus to me. All this is very, I think I went down a rabbit hole. I think I'm still going to continue to go down one. Okay. What am I going to say? Blah, 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 blah. We're going on 2 hours. Woohoo. Okay, maybe I should conclude it because I got to go to OB's live. So we're not done with Emmanuel Haro. As more updates come and more things come, I'm still going to talk about Emmanuel Haro. I pray and hope that they do find Emmanuel and they give him the proper justice and the proper burial. The community is going to go out there and support and love Emmanuel because his parents failed to do that. To Jake and Rebecca Haro, excuse my language, you are both the scums of the earth. You're both a waste of space. You're both scumbags. You're both nasty pieces of shit. How can you do this to an innocent little baby? A baby who can't even fight back. A baby who can't even defend himself. How could you do that? General population, if they do allow it, is going to love the both of you, okay? If you think that the world right now is probably like, give me 5 seconds with Rebecca. Give me 5 seconds with Jake. Let me show them something. But you best believe the inmates in there they're gonna love them. They're gonna show them. They're just gonna love them. That's all I'm gonna say. They're gonna give them that old jail cell fights. I don't understand how, even Jake, how you can do that to a 10-week-old baby. A baby who's only freaking 10 weeks old. So vulnerable, so pure of life, so innocent. How can you do that? You scumbag, you piece of shit. Like, how can you do that? I don't get how you can do that. You make me sick. Okay? You both make me sick. I hope that you stay in prison for the rest of your life. Jake Haro, they should have left you in prison for the rest of your life the first time you did this with promise. Okay? Like, shame on that judge. Shame on that judge for letting you and your girlfriend, your first, second wife, whatever she was, be released on work release. How dare they? How? No. I'm sure if you were in prison, Emmanuel would have been perfectly fine. He would have been a happy little baby boy. Okay? If you didn't want Emmanuel, you had many options to give him to a loving family. You didn't have to kill him. You didn't have to unalive him. You didn't have to harm him. If you didn't want Promise, you didn't have to hurt her. You didn't have to make her have only 3% of her brain working. You could have gave her away to a loving family who would have taken care of her. No questions asked, no judgments. There's loving people out there who are trying to get pregnant, who are trying to have kids, who would adopt kids, in a heartbeat. I don't get how you can do that. You two are added to the shit list of parents of America. Like, okay. As new updates come with baby Emmanuel, I'm going to give you more updates on that. I will come back on live if there's more updates involving Emmanuel. They're gonna go to court. I want to live stream that if they allow it. I would like to live stream it. Remember, they go back to court September 4th, and then Jake goes back again September 9th for the protective order against his first wife. She filed. What else? Oh, yes. We're going to come back to Casey Anthony sometime next week. We're coming back on tomorrow. I do want to talk about the shooting that happened at that church today, the school church. I do want to talk about that. So sad. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. I'll be live again at 8:30 Central Time. So we can go on live. We can talk about it. I'm going to show you a lot of stuff that I can't show you on YouTube. It'll be posted on my Discord. So if you're not on my Discord, I suggest you join my Discord. Hold on. Nightbot's not working tonight. I think he took the night off. Let him load. It's always a pleasure to have you here, Sunnyside. I hope you have a great night. I hope your cleaning was good too. I hope to see you on the next one. You and Janelle and everybody. There is my Discord. If you guys would like to go and tune in to Oblivious Benson, she said I
35 is about 5 miles, like
This is
3 to 5
OB.
miles. Like if I would have kept going straight.
I had to mute her. This is OB. This is our dad. This is our Faja. Go subscribe to her. She does true crime as well. She's amazing. She's the sweetest person ever. New comment. Yes. Yay. Okay. I hope to see you. Okay. So here's OB's channel link. Go subscribe to her. She's amazing. She's great. She's currently live right now. I just love her. She does true crime. She does OSINT. She digs real deep into the cases. So deep. She also sells like little sillies and funnies. It's so funny. It's so amazing. Her and Dawn Marie, y'all know Dawn Marie. You know I go Dawn Marie. I love to go to Dawn Marie's live. Dawn Marie, whenever I watch true crime, I always like to go to like Dawn Marie's channel, OB's channel, and I love to see when they post. Like OB posts like sillies that are so funny and cute. I go there to de-stress because true crime can really take a toll on you. It can really, mess with your mental health. It makes you like drained out. So I love OB. OB does true crime as well. She talks about true crime. She talks about anything and everything, honestly. Dawn Marie, our girl Dawn Marie, our girl Dawn. Dawn loves to come on live and she loves to talk. She loves to do anything and everything. I know recently, the other day, she did a live of the New York Fashion Girl, if I remember. Dawn Marie, if you see this, you need to go back. I want to know more about that case. I forgot what the case was called, but I want to know more about that case you were talking about. The girl that they found on the boat and the man was naked. I don't know. I forgot the name, but I want to know more of it. Like, I want to know what happened. I actually talked to Dawn Marie today. She's so sweet. We love her. Yes, we love Dawn Marie. We love our Dawn. But yeah, there's Dawn Marie's link, and then there's OB's link right here as well. I'm actually going to be in OB's live after this, so if you guys want to join, it is right here. If you're new to my channel and don't know who Dawn Marie is, here's Dawn Marie. She's our favorite New York gal. We love her to death. We love her. I think I also have, is he on here? Let me see. I don't know if I put that Nightbot. I think I did. I did, yes. Now, if you love true crime and you want the forensics point of view, you want the police point of view, Duty Ron and Ed Wallace are the best. I love them so much. They deep dive and they do the forensics perspective. They are the best. They're amazing. There's their channel right there. If you're new to my channel, because I do have a lot of new folks who join sometimes, this is their link down below. But we're going on 2 hours and 16 minutes. I would like to thank everyone who came on tonight. Thank you for the like and subscribe. Make sure you like and subscribe and turn on the notifications so you know when I'm live next time. Thank you to my replay crew. Baby Emmanuel, I hope that you are found. I am so sorry that your senseless, evil parents did this to you. It breaks my heart knowing that you were, from what police say, that you were abused for a long period of time. Everyone failed you. Just, it breaks my heart so much. But tomorrow we're going to come back on live. Same time, 8:30, 8 o'clock Central Time. We're going to talk about the shooting that happened at the church. I heard about it today. I was going to do it today, but then I was like, I want to talk about baby Emmanuel. So tomorrow we're going to talk about the shooting that occurred today at that church, the Catholic school. It breaks my heart. My prayers and condolences go out to the family, the staff, and everybody. They're putting out the gunman, the shooter who went and pew-pewed the Catholic school. And to me, he looks kind of scary. He looks kind of sus. Like, he looks suspicious to me. But yeah. Thank you all for being here. I love you all so much. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we go live, and then tomorrow I'll let you know when we come back to Casey Anthony, because we do need to finish Casey Anthony. We need to stream those trials. But if anything comes up more involving Emmanuel Haro, I will jump on live and I will tell you the details, or I'll put it in my Discord. But yeah, I love you all. Have a good rest of your Thursday night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.